Are you considered a transphobe if you don't date a trans woman? Let's get into it.
I believe that refusing to date transgender folks because they are transgender is a form of transphobia. However, I think there are different levels of transphobia. On a scale of 1 to 10, messing up someone's pronoun would be lower on the scale, while offenses closer to 10 would be deliberately using the wrong pronoun, or being Caitlyn Jenner. I personally would put refusal to date trans folks on the lower end of the transphobia scale. I just don't understand why folks can say that they accept trans women as women and then refuse to date them even though they're attracted to women. In my world, that's acceptance with an asterisk. It's like saying that insects are food or that Tucker Carlson is a human. Both are technically true, but
So she said something quite interesting here. She said, I don't understand where you can respect somebody as a woman or see them as a woman, but not date them. What do you think that means? It means they don't respect or see you as a woman. And, trans women are trans women. We are not women. We're never going to be the same as women, and that is okay. I'm not saying that as a way of like degrading trans people or trans women. I'm just simply stating a fact that we are different from women, and period. So she said that not dating a trans person is considered transphobic, which is utterly ridiculous, okay? It's the same as like if I were not into gay guys, does that make me homophobic? Like if I don't want to date gay guys because, they're flamboyant and I would prefer like a masculine guy, does that make me homophobic? Or is that just preference? Is that just a type? Like I have nothing against gay men. Like I have a lot of gay friends. I love them, love hanging out with them, spending time with them. They're absolute fun to be with. They're a blast, but like I would never date them unless they're kind of, like I guess more on the masculine side. But like generally speaking, no. Does that make me homophobic because I'm not attracted to gay men? Acceptance is not equal to attraction. Let's start right there. So just because you respect and accept somebody does not automatically mean that you're going to be interested in dating them. Doesn't mean that you are automatically attracted to them. I've heard of other TikToks where it's like fat phobic to not date fat people. And I think this is a similar kind of mindset, right? Like just because, and I think it's actually quite sad and pathetic. You're kind of like complaining and whining there like a little kid. Like, "Oh, you don't want to date me? Okay, well, I guess you're fat phobic. I guess you're transphobic." Like, chill. You're just not their type. Let's not attach stigmas to ridiculous analogies. Everyone has a right to date whomever they want. And everybody has a set of preferences, right? Everybody has a type. Not dating a trans person is a preference. Like people can respect me as a trans person, treat me as a woman because that's how I identify, that's how I present myself to the world. But if they don't want to date me, that's completely fine. That is not transphobic. I'm just not their type. They're not into me. They're not into trans people. We don't need to characterize these people as transphobic just because they don't want to date you, okay? Quit being a little bitch, and just accept the fact that, not everybody is going to be into trans people. Look, straight men are naturally attracted and into women, right? And while these men might be attracted to us, right, because we look like women, doesn't necessarily mean that they would date us. Maybe sex, because we have huge differences between females. If a guy chooses not to go down that road, because it is a very difficult road to kind of date a trans person. I mean, I guess depending on where you live, how your family is, and who your friends are, but generally speaking, it is. And if this guy decided not to go down that path, they have every right to do so. And we shouldn't call them transphobic for that. That is ridiculous. Personally, I would not date a trans man. I have thought about it a lot because, I have seen some super, super, super cute trans men and I'm very attracted to them, like very much so. But then I thought, could I actually date a trans man? Because like, of course I want dick, right? And, knowing the fact that they're not going to have a dick and it is going to be, a vagina, and me being vagina phobic, like, I don't think it can work. Like, I can be so attracted to a trans man. I may want to make out with them and maybe cuddle with them, talk with them, spend time with them. But I don't think I can ever be intimate with one just because, the sex dynamic is going to be basically me and him, doing like a normal man and woman sex dynamic. And I've never done that. And, it's just going to be so super weird. That's just my decision, my preference. I prefer to date, straight men with a dick. Does that make me transphobic? Of course, you guys are going to say I'm transphobic, right? But like, is it transphobic or just having a preference? I just want dick. I'm sorry. And same with guys. They just want pussy, right? They just want a vagina. So are they transphobic for wanting a vagina and not a dick? No. So stop labeling men and people just in general that they are transphobic or fatphobic for not wanting to date you because you're fat or trans. They can be super respectful of trans women and even call you with your preferred pronouns and treat you as a woman. But just because they're not interested in dating you doesn't mean they're transphobic. So just quit it with that nonsense. It is stupid. Also, here's an interesting theory that I have. So, when you watch these videos of like people asking men, would you date a trans woman? Would you date a trans woman? And they always say no. And some of them might even say, like, I respect them. I have nothing against them. But personally, it's just not for me. Listen, of course, they're going to say that. You know why? Because people are going to see that. Their friends might see that. Their family might see that. And why would they say that they're into trans women if they're not actively dating one? Obviously, they wouldn't want to put themselves in that kind of a situation where their sexuality is going to be questioned, right, by their friends and family. It's going to cause a lot of personal and social issues for them if they say they would, because, that's, people just have strong opinions about, guys who date trans women. They think they're gay and all that. And, there's just a whole bunch of nonsense. So if you think about it, like, why would they ever put themselves in that situation if they're not already actively dating or seeing a trans person? It's just not worth it. They would not admit to that. Even if they would, and if they were, they would not admit to that. Trust me. So what I'm saying is, just because they said no doesn't mean that's really what's going to happen in real life. Half of the guys that I have been with have never been with trans women. I can bet that if they were asked by people if they would date trans women, they would probably say the same thing, so that their sexuality and gender identity would not be questioned. Because, they're straight, right? They know they're straight and they don't want that questioned. But at the same time, like, if you're attracted to trans women, that for me doesn't mean you're gay. Gay men are attracted to straight men and just other gay men. They're not attracted to trans women. So for the record, it's not gay. However, they just don't want to go through all of that, right? They don't want to go through all of the people questioning their sexuality and their gender and their sex life, right? Just because somebody says they're not interested in trans women, they would not date a trans woman, trust me. I mean, who knows? They might have even already been with trans women. Maybe they had some interactions with them. I mean, we'll never know, right? But like, actions speak louder than words. I think ultimately it all depends. It depends on how much they would like the person. Like in my case, for the guys that I have been intimate with who have never been with trans women, it's not as if they were actively seeking trans women. They just saw me. They thought I was, a real girl. And when they saw my profile, they saw that I was trans. Didn't allow that to stop them from getting to know me. And then once they got to know me, then, we decided to kind of meet up. So I think it really just depends on the person and the chemistry. Like if you are the type of person who kind of would see past somebody being trans, or you can also be somebody who's looking for different experiences. I mean, there's a lot of factors here to consider. But yeah, just because a guy says no does not mean it's a no. And for the record, men who choose not to date trans women and vice versa are not transphobic. Get that into your head. And that is it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye, guys.